Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, everybody? This is Marcus from Black Married Debt Free. I am simulcasting on 3 platforms. IG, what's going on? YouTube, what's going on? And Facebook. Actually, I'm broadcasting on 4 platforms because I am live on the Black Married and Debt Free podcast. I want to let you guys in on to see how the donuts are made. So thank you all for being on. I want to invite you all in. Share this with your people. Share this with your friends. Comment. Join in the conversation. We're going to be talking about something very interesting today. So thank you for being on with us. Let me make sure I have it good. All right. This is raw, real, and uncut. We're live on the Black Married and Debt Free podcast. Everybody being on. So want to, of course, I would be remiss not to address the elephant in the room, the tragedy that, befell us all, and especially the Bryant family. For those of you who know me, I am a complete sports junkie. And, I was very sad as to what happened to Bryant and his daughter, Gigi, and the whole Bryant family. So, we want to dedicate this podcast episode to, their legacy, their memory. And so Shire isn't here with us today. Unfortunately, Shire's working. And honestly, man, this week's been kind of tough. Like I was just kind of in a rut. And, but I said, I want to make sure I'm providing consistent content to our followers and to our listeners. So I said, you know what, man, it's time to strap up and bring some information to you all. So something we're going to be talking about today. First of all, I want to put a plug in for those of you who are listening. And this is exclusively for our podcast listeners. We've kind of rolled it out to our podcast listeners. And now for those of you who are watching the live stream, I'm going to let you all in as well. Shira and I have created a masterclass, and it outlines how we have been able to really go from being on government assistance. We were on WIC when we had our first child. We were making a household income of $1,300 a month. We live in California, Northern California, very expensive. And that was not going to cut it, right? So we turned our situation around, as many of you know, and we were able to pull ourselves out of that. And there were some strategies and some strategic things that we did to do that. So we get a lot of questions, and on all our platforms talk about how we were able to do that. And so we get so many questions. We said, well, let's just create a masterclass where we answer all of those questions. We address the steps that we use. So we did that, and it is available right now. It's going to be listed in the links of all these platforms. But it is a masterclass that outlines exactly how we went from 6-figure debt to a 6-figure net worth. So you're going to be able to go on there. It's got about an hour and a half of on-demand video you can watch on any platform, on your cell phones, iPads, laptops, wherever you are. And we really take a deep dive. The content you get from us for free on the podcast and on YouTube and on Facebook and Instagram, that's great. But we really took a deep dive on this course, this masterclass. So we encourage you all to go grab that. And the cool thing about the masterclass is you get a 30-minute coaching consultation with Shira and I. Shira completed her coaching certification at UC Davis, very prestigious school in California. And we couple that and we marry that with our own, experience paying off debt. And we've created a really good coaching program. So you're going to get a little piece of the coaching program too. 30-minute coaching call. And I'm going to just tell you now, it's affordable now. but you want to get in now. You want to go get that. So I'm going to list the links on all these platforms. And for Instagram, the link will be in our description right after this live. So you guys want to check that out. And we're kind of doing a soft rollout. We're going to do a larger rollout later. So just want to share that with you guys. But for this episode, we're going to be talking about cars, right? This is during the commute time. It's about 3:30 West Coast time, and East Coast is about 6 o'clock. People are commuting home from work, and they're commuting in cars, many of them. And we're all about saving money. And one thing that Americans are not saving money on right now, and that is on motor vehicles. I watched a recent video. Shire sent me an article, and then she also sent me a video. I believe it was, I forget which publication it was, but they were talking about some staggering statistics as to the rising cost of vehicles and how many Americans are in over their head with vehicle payments, monthly payments on cars. So here are some statistics that were just jarring to myself, and I wanted to share them with you. So cars in general are the price of a brand new car is up 38% from 10 years ago, right? And what is happening is these vehicle manufacturing companies are including all this tech, right? Which we all love, the technology. I'm streaming right now on 3 different platforms. I mean, that's technology right there. But what the motor vehicle industry is seeing is that people love the technology. So they're making the technology standard in all vehicles. And what that is doing is driving up the price. They have this was I could not believe that they now have 8-year loans, 8-year car loans. They have these astronomical monthly prices for these vehicles. And then when the customer's like, well, that's too much, I can't afford, an $800 a month bill for my 2019 Malibu, they say, okay, well, we could cut that down. Yeah, well, we get that down for you. And they cut the thing down, but they're extending the term of your loan. And now it can go up to 8 years. I remember when me and Shara were, the last time we were in the market for like a vehicle, I believe like 6 years was like the longest you can go at that time, or that, and we kind of looked at each other like 6 years. Look, I'm not a car guy. Some of you may be really into vehicles, but 6 years on a car, like, I don't know, by year 2 or 3, I'm like, do I even like this? You know what I mean? So I'm going to give you some alternatives, but we're going to get to that a little bit later. But I'm going to just, share some more of these statistics. So like I said, they're raising the technology in these vehicles, which in turn is raising the price. Last year, 7 million Americans were at least 90 days late on payments. So that means that people are getting these cars and they can't make the payments. And you should never, get something that you can't afford long term. I think this is a great message for this time period, because in tax season, what do we like to do a lot of times? We like to finance big ticket items that we know we can't afford long term. And a lot of times that's what people are doing with these vehicles. They're getting into these long-term loans that are overpriced, and a year or so into it, they're like, man, I can't keep this up. I can't keep this up, right? So that is staggering to me. Also, repos have tripled within the last year. So the amount of repos have tripled. Now that's a business that's probably booming. We might want to, venture into that because it's sad that business is booming, because individuals can't afford the cars that they purchase. A lot of times you go to these lots. I remember Shire and I went to purchase. It's a real crazy story. We were looking to purchase a new car, and this is when the Toyota Echoes were in. I don't know if you guys remember them little Toyota Echo, It was kind of like Toyota's smallest vehicle at the time or whatever. So we go into the lot, and it was probably it might have been 2006. So they had like a 2002 Toyota Echo. So we was looking at that. We was like, okay, well, that's the only one that's really, we could possibly afford. So we get in there, and we didn't have any money down at the time. So he's like, oh, no problem, no problem. So we get in there, we're sitting down, and they're doing the paperwork, and that monthly, he's typing on his calculator, and that monthly price hit us. And we were just kind of like, no, we weren't looking to pay that much. I believe it was like maybe $300-400 a month. So we said, no, we can't do that. So he said, okay, I can get you down to $290, but it's going to be, and that's when it was like 6 years. And we looked at each other. We was like, we were young, as you get older, you're able to speak your mind a little bit more. But at that time, I don't even know. I think we were married, like, newlyweds or something to that effect. But we were really young, so we didn't know how to tell them no. So we was like, oh, you know what? We need to get something. Let me go get something out the car. I think I left something in the car. If we're gonna run to the car, we'll be right back and we'll finish this up. Man, me and Shar looked at each other. We went to that car and sped out of there. We was like, we just gonna ride this little bucket we have, because the dealership doesn't care about what you can do long term. They're getting money on the front end, similar to the predatory lending when it comes to homes. When they sell you the home, and they get you in this house that they know you can't afford, they're getting a lump sum on the front end. They don't care about what you can do going forward. I'm talking about the salesman. The salesman is getting commission on the front end for selling a car to Marcus. Okay, Marcus paid X amount of dollars. I get whatever my commission is for that vehicle. Next, on to the next one. They can care less about what your situation is like going forward. So you have to care about your situation, right? So I posed this question, some months back on a live when it comes to purchasing newer vehicles or purchasing a vehicle in general. Many of us want a new car because we say, I don't want to have to deal with, taking it to the mechanic. I don't want to have to deal with issues with my vehicle. That's why I like to purchase newer vehicles. My question to you is this: if you buy a early 2000 vehicle that's used, it's in decent condition. Let's say it's not even in decent condition. Let's say every year you have to put $1,000 into the car. What? I don't want to do that. $1,000, that's ridiculous. That's too much money. Okay. So would you rather put $1,000 into a car that may need, issues, maybe an older vehicle? Or would you rather pay $1,000 a month on a new car, or $500 a month on a new car, or $300 a month on a new car for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years? Which makes more sense? To me, it makes more sense to buy a car that I may need to spend a few $100s on a year to maintain, $1,000 a year to maintain, than it is to buy a vehicle where I'm spending $500, $600, $700 a month. So to me, it's about getting something that can get you from point A to point B. It's about logistics. But I think a lot of times with us, it's about the look. It's about the status symbol. It's about when I pull up, I want people to, it's all about pulling up. Like, we love pulling up. Why do we love pulling up so much? We love pulling up with aggression when that's necessary. And we love pulling up and stunting as well. But if we're really trying to reach our financial goals, which I'm sure a lot of you who follow us are, you wouldn't be following us if you didn't like, our message, which is all about, financial education and changing your family legacy. For those of us who are trying to do that, we got to find a different way to navigate this thing, right? And so I want to give you guys some alternative. I want to give you, we're not just gonna just talk about the bad, the bad, the bad. I'm going to give you some good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run off the 5. Now, this is based on a Kelley Blue Book article. These are the 5 most budget-friendly vehicles, used vehicles under $5,000. $5,000. Now, that's something that we can save. That's something we can side hustle our way to. And that's something that we can perhaps put away and pay cash. $5,000 is a lot more manageable than $500 a month for 8 years, right? So I'm going to run some of these off for you. And these are vehicles that you may see on the road all the time that are beautifully running vehicles. Do they catch your eye? Probably not. But do they get you from point A to point B? Absolutely. So let's start. We're going to start at the bottom of the list. We're going to start with number 5. So according to Kelley Blue Book, the 5th most budget-friendly car under $5,000 is a 2005 Honda Civic. A 2005 Honda Civic. My mother-in-law had a 04 Honda Civic. It's a nice looking car, man. And it lasted her, let's see, I met my wife and my mother-in-law in 04. And she had that car. She had that for at least 10 years before she ended up getting another one. So that was a really good car. Honda is a very well-made vehicle. So that's the 5th one. The 4th one is a 2004 Toyota Corolla. A 2004 Toyota Corolla. Now, this car is very near and dear to me because this was me and Shara's first brand new car. We had a 07 Corolla, but the model was the same from 2004 to 2007. And this was a very nice vehicle. We had no issues. I had no issues on this car for 5 years. And this is the first car that we bought brand new. And although we financed it, it was well worth it. And it was a workhorse for us. So a 2004 Toyota Corolla. You can get that for under $5,000, y'all. The 3rd car on the list is a 2004 Honda Accord. Okay, maybe a Honda Civic, although it's a sedan, maybe it's a little small for you, right? Maybe a Toyota Corolla is a little too small. I know me, I'm 6'1", and the Toyota Corolla, it got a little tight. I had to lean it back, But a Honda Accord is considered a full-size sedan, right? So now you got a big body, right? You can get a 2004 Honda Accord for $5,000, y'all. $5,000. The 2nd car on the list is a 2003 Toyota Camry. Now, this model from 2003, I believe, to 2009 was a really sleek, sexy looking Toyota Camry. That Toyota Camry still to this day looks very good when you see that thing coming down the road, right? You can get a 2003 Toyota Camry for $5,000, around $5,000. I think that's really another full-size alternative if you have a bigger family. Let's say you want to kick it up a little bit. Okay, Marcus, you're giving me Toyota. I see where you're going, Marcus. You're giving me Hondas. You're giving me Toyotas. Okay. I want something a little bit nicer. What else you got? Okay. The number 1 car that you can get for under $5,000. We're going to kick it up on the luxury end a little bit. A 2003 Toyota Avalon. Now, for those of you who don't know, Toyota and Lexus are like cousins, right? They play cousins, right? So the Toyota Avalon, if you look at the body of the Lexus, they're almost identical. The 03 Lexus and the 03 Avalon. I'm not sure how their bodies look on the 2020 models or the 2019, the newer models, but I'm sure they look very similar because Toyota and Lexus are play cousins. And so if you want to step it up on the luxury level, you can get a 2003 Toyota Avalon for under $5,000. So we have no excuse. We have no excuse. Like I said, it's about logistics. If you're in the space we're in, if you're in the space of wanting to save money, wanting to pay off your debt, wanting to get out of the cycle of work, spend, pay the minimum balance. If you're wanting to get out of that space, these are some really good options for you when it comes to buying vehicles, because the statistics are staggering on the new vehicles. Every car has, Tesla is changing the game because it's forcing all the other manufacturers to have this technology. I mean, we got Wi-Fi in cars now. We got, every car has the flash screen, iPad on the front. Every car is starting to make those things standard to keep up with the tech boom. And what that is doing is that's raising the price on the vehicles. So we have to find a way to navigate the system. We can't just say, well, throw our hands up. I guess I got to pay it. I guess I got to pay $800 a month, 8 years. I mean, what else can I do? That's the lazy way out, right? And for those of you who say, hey man, I like my cars. I like my, I'm into vehicles, luxury. I don't mind paying it. Then maybe this episode wasn't for you, this podcast episode. But this is for my people who are trying to get out of that rat race. I wanted to, give you guys some different options. So thank you for being on this live podcast recording. Everybody on IG, appreciate you watching. Everybody, my YouTube family, thank you guys for being on. If you guys have any questions, why don't you throw them up while I'm doing this wrap up? Everybody on our Facebook page, thank you for hopping on. And this is Marcus from Black Married Debt Free. We thank you guys for being on the episode. All right. Okay, we got a couple questions here. Let's see, YouTube. Let's see. We're going to scroll through some of these questions. Okay, so man, we got a lot of questions on YouTube. Scrolling through. Glad to see you guys. Thank you guys all for being on. Let's see here. The 1998 to 2002 Toyota Camry was voted the most reliable car. I bought one 10 years ago and it's still running like new. Absolutely. I'm going to share with you the vehicles we have too before we get out of here. Somebody says, yes, we do like to stunt. $800 car note and all. We love pulling up, don't we? And stunting. But we got to get out of that mindset. Lexus is top of the line model in Toyota line. There we go. So Lexus is the top of the line in the Toyota line. What about SUVs for large families? I have some SUVs for you. I'll run off. I have one in particular. One thing that any car is routine maintenance. Exactly. Good routine maintenance will get you a long way. Good routine maintenance, oil changes, tire rotations, those simple things. I'm not a car guy by any means, but those things right there, brake pad change, you do those, your car will work for you. Your car will work for you. Absolutely. So we had a question about SUV alternatives. So I have a family of 4. And like I said, I'm a big guy, about 6'1". I'm not, there's people much bigger, but I'm 6'1", long legs. And so we had a 07 Toyota Corolla. It was running great for us. But I said, man, I need something bigger, man. I need something bigger. I want an SUV that's in that Honda Toyota family, that's pre-owned. What can I do? I'm also a musician, and I was carrying, 88 key, 100-pound keyboards and amps and different things and drum sets and different things in my vehicle. And, I just wasn't working with the Corolla anymore. So I started doing my research and I was looking for used. I started looking at Honda Pilots. Honda Pilot is a very nice, fuel efficient. And another thing, all those cars I've ran off earlier are very fuel efficient. So a Honda Pilot is a very fuel efficient SUV. So I said, okay, let me look into that. And I knew that at this point in time, my '07 Corolla was worth probably $35 to $4,000 max. We had kept it up pretty well. So I said, okay, so I want something that I could trade in. I could sell this and get a Honda Pilot I was going for the same price. I want to pay $0. I just want to sell my Corolla, take that money and buy a Pilot. So I started doing some research. So I looked at '03 to '05 Honda Pilots. That is a very good alternative for families who are looking to save money, but they want to go the SUV route. Look at that '03 to '05 Pilot era. And then even after that, now those vehicles from '05 to '09-ish are becoming more affordable. My brother-in-law has that. His is '05 to '09, somewhere around there. And that's very nice looking SUV. You see a lot of those on the road. That's the thing. What cars do you see on the road? And you're like, man, I've seen those for years. Light bulb. Those are good vehicles that last, that keep running. So I used to see them. So we're able to trade. I was able to sell my Corolla, take the cash, $3,500 to a used dealership and purchase, we went back and forth and I got a '04 Honda Pilot with 200,000 miles on it. That didn't worry me at all. 2,000 miles didn't scare me, not in the least. I bought that for $3,500. We've been driving that thing for 3 years now. We live in Northern California. We've driven up to Tahoe in that thing. We've driven to San Francisco. We've driven 200 plus mile trips, round trip in that thing. Commute, to work, take the kids to school. Weekend, that's our weekend vehicle when we're traveling as a family. So it's been nothing but good for us. And it cost me $3,500. And, got the 8-seater in the back, when you got large groups of people that you're traveling with. So it's been a great thing. And, I keep it clean. That's all we got to do. We just got to make sure we keep it clean when, we want to have that awe factor or that stunt, just keep it clean. That's all we got to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream, the live podcast kind of thing. If you're not following us, if you're on Instagram and you're not following Black Married and Debt Free on YouTube, please do so. If you're on YouTube and you're not following us on Instagram, please do so. If you're listening to us on the podcast and you're not following us on any of those social media platforms, you want to do that. We are being consistent with the content on all platforms. And as I stated earlier, we have created a masterclass outlining exactly how Shira and I were able to go from 6-figure debt. And when I tell you it was 6-figure debt, it was 6-figure debt. We were on government assistance. We were making $1,300 a month as a household income in California. And we were able to use steps and strategies to turn that around. And now we have a 6-figure net worth. We're contributing over 40% of our income to retirement. We have 2 investment properties out of state. And, that's not to boast or brag because there's people doing way better than that. But that is to say that we've learned some things and we want to share what we've learned with others in our community and outside of our community. So definitely the links for the masterclass will be on all these platforms. So you want to go on there and you want to be a part of that masterclass, and you get a 30-minute coaching call with Shira and I if you buy that. So we love you guys. Thank you for spending time with your boy. And I will talk to you guys later. God bless. OIG. For those of you who are interested in the masterclass, it will be in the description in about 2 minutes in the description. All right. Peace.